Look at me, weirdo. Ew.
Ew.
That's so gross.
Offended.
Ew.
This is Love Hurts. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for future content. 27-year-old Raven Gant was ambitious, hardworking, beautiful, and loving. She was the type that always had something going on and was always on the move, working, hustling, handling business. Her number one goal in life was to be successful. More than anything, she wanted financial freedom and the ability to live life on her terms, travel when she wanted, shop when she wanted. And trust me, Raven was all about shopping and fashion. Friends and family say she was often the best dressed and most fashionable in the room. But success was the true mission for her. And she was well on her way while working in hotel management, where the possibilities of career growth were endless. Raven was carving out a comfortable life, not only for herself, but also for her 2-year-old daughter. She was an excellent mother, and her child's happiness meant everything to her, even to the point where she sacrificed her own happiness and safety to provide her daughter with a 2-parent household. Very few people knew Raven's secret. She was in an abusive relationship with her child's father, 40-year-old Randall Watkins. In the beginning of the relationship, Raven thought Randall was the perfect man. He was a real alpha male, the type that made sure everything ran kosher. He was a problem solver with a real make things happen mentality. But as time went on, Raven realized it was control that Randall loved and craved. He wanted to control every single aspect of her life, and when he couldn't, he had no problem resorting to violence. He would beat her. She would disguise the black eyes and busted lips with makeup. Family said the lengths she went through to protect Randall were unbelievable. But like all secrets, eventually the truth is revealed. When Raven's father found out that Randall was beating his daughter, he went to Randall's house and attempted to confront him. That's when witnesses say Randall pulled out a weapon and shot her father in the back as he was leaving. What Raven's family didn't know is that Randall was a violent felon with a prior murder conviction from Illinois. In 1995, he shot a friend in the leg and the head when an argument over a small sum of money escalated. He served a nice amount of time in prison, but eventually he was released and he relocated to Minnesota. Shortly after, he met Raven. After the shooting of her father, she realized she had to get out of that relationship and she had to get away from Randall, so she left with just the clothes on her back. On Thanksgiving Day, November 28th of 2019, Raven went back to the house that she once shared with Randall to retrieve her daughter's belongings. Once there, her and Randall began to argue because he refused to let her get any of their daughter's things. The police were called out, but when an officer arrived, he explained to Raven that unfortunately it was a civil matter and there was nothing that he could do to make Randall give her the belongings of their child.
All of her clothes are in here. All of her diapers.
Fortunately, I can't force him to open the door and let you go in and get the stuff, okay? That's where my hands are tied.
So Raven left. Family says later that evening, Randall called Raven, telling her that if she brought their daughter to see him, he would allow her to get their belongings. Raven made the fateful decision to return to his home that night, and once she got inside, things went south. The two made simultaneous calls to 911 at 9:37 p.m. Raven told the dispatcher she wanted her things, but Randall wouldn't give them to her. What's more, she said that he would not allow her to leave his home. She also called her father and told him that Randall wouldn't let her out of the house. Randall, on the other hand, called police and told dispatchers that Raven had assaulted him and refused to leave. Records show that officers did respond to both phone calls about 5 minutes after they were made. They knocked on the door, they never announced themselves, and they left less than 2 minutes after arriving when no one came to the door. A few minutes later, Randall called the police again. He was questioning where they were because he hadn't seen them come to his home.
Yes, I just called 911. I was trying to see how long it takes for the officers to come get My daughter, mom, on my house.
We're going to get them back out there. If anything changes, let us know.
The dispatcher explained to him that the police were there, but they left after getting no answer. She said that she would send them back out. But body camera video shows that instead of the police responding to the second call, they went to go use the restroom, and they even spent a little bit of time investigating a stolen car call. At about 10:08, Randall calls the police again. This time, it's clear to the dispatcher that things have escalated. He begins screaming and yelling. The 911 dispatcher tells Randall that he needs to calm down and that he needs to go to another room. Instead, he continues to escalate and escalate.
You need to get out of her face. You go to another room.
6 minutes into that call, a half hour after officers knocked on the door and left, a gunshot can be heard, followed by screaming. Raven was shot once in the left side of her back. And once police finally arrived at the home, she was lying deceased, right next to her 2-year-old daughter, who luckily was unharmed in the incident. Raven's family was absolutely devastated, and they spoke with reporters about the loss of Raven.
Raven has always been a hard, super hard worker.
Raven was an accounts manager at Union Depot Hotel, a hardworking mom to JJ. Raven was killed on Thanksgiving Day.
It was just like any other holiday. And I had no idea of all of this that was going on because of the lengths that my sister was going through to protect this man.
That man is JJ's dad, Randall Watkins.
My daughter knew that she was being abused, and she tried to get out of it. But by the time she tried to get out of it, it was a little bit too late.
Raven and JJ had moved out of Watkins' home. Police reports say Raven went back Thanksgiving to retrieve clothes when Watkins shot her with little JJ close by.
That's not okay for any women, for any young adult, for no female to experience. It's just not right.
A little less than a year after the murder of Raven, Randall Watkins was found guilty and sentenced to 40 years in prison.
A man is going to prison for killing his ex-girlfriend in front of their toddler on Thanksgiving Day. Randall Watkins was convicted last month. Today, a judge sentenced him to the maximum penalty. Raven Gant was 27 years old when she died. Susan Elizabeth Littlefield shows us how the case came to an emotional close today.
Raven Gant was a young woman on the move, a doting mother with a budding career in hotel management, as her father explained to a judge.
My daughter was a beautiful, hard-working, lovable, just want to be successful in life.
But her life was taken by her ex-boyfriend, killed on Thanksgiving in front of their young daughter. As Raven's ex awaited his sentence, her father told him and the court how little JJ is coping.
It's so vivid in her mind. She talk about it with other kids that just come up. My daddy killed my mama. You know, when she see ambulances, she think her mom's in the ambulance.
Then it was Randall Watkins' turn to speak.
My deepest compassion for the loss of Raven, because I'm devastated behind it, and not because I'm convicted, but because I truly love Raven. And I truly loved our daughter. I will always love them both. I was attacked.
The judge rejected that defense and inflicted the highest penalty, 40 years in prison, saying, though, that the greatest burden would be the one that little JJ has to bear.
And she's lost both her parents. Worse, she saw her dad kill her mother.
Love you, baby!
And with that, Raven's family gathered, finding some gratitude amidst the deepest of pain.
We're just thankful for the outcome today, and just wish that none of this had to happen.
Susan Elizabeth.
My heart truly goes out to Raven's family, friends, and loved ones, especially her young daughter. If you are in a domestic abuse relationship, create an out plan and get out. Once you are out, do not turn back. Turning back can cost you your life. As always, loves, stay safe. Don't forget to subscribe, thumbs up, and hit that notification bell for future content.